A mix-up. I don't really know how this is happening, but Biggie says this is his favorite person of the day who's in the news. She's 66 years old from North Texas. Her name is Elaine, and she cannot get men to stop showing up at her house asking for sexual relations. Somehow, it has gotten out online that this is the place to meet prostitutes. Okay, what is going on?
So my understanding, it sounds like a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow some online ad, who knows where, maybe the dark web, secret back pages.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it sounds like they run an ad that says, hey, meet up here for sex.
Yeah.
But you got to Venmo us first.
Aha.
So I guess men Venmo, probably what they claim is going to be half. Like, send us half. But it's just a big scam.
Right.
The scammer has picked this woman's random address as a place. So these guys Venmo money. Then they go... Well, of course, it's just her house.
Yeah, it's a woman's house.
I don't think anyone's targeting her on purpose. I think it's just happenstance.
They picked a random neighbor, random address.
Well, this poor woman, the first thing she says, of course, is, why is this happening? I'm sick of it.
Some sex website that nasty old men go and look for sex. They pay Venmo for the services, and then they get my address and they come here.
Okay.
Easy on the nasty old men talk.
Right? Yeah.
Strong words.
They're really strong.
Nasty old men.
I mean, these guys aren't hurting you.
Just because they're looking for love.
Look, sorry your doorbell rings, lady, but...
In all the wrong places.
Nookin for nub.
She's upset about it.
I'm frustrated, I'm irritated, and I'm beyond done. How can a man, a grown man, go to a house in a neighborhood thinking they're gonna get sex? As many hookers and prostitutes are out there, go get one. Leave me alone. I'm not here for that.
Go out in the wild.
But that's what they are doing.
That's what they're there for.
We all know men are dumb. Just for the sheer thought of maybe having sex, we'll do that.
Yeah.
It's worth 60 on Venmo.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I would be critical of these men, but remember, I myself have been drawn in, suckered in, scammed by a group of very highly intelligent people who got me for pine straw last year. We all know I made what we call an unfortunate agricultural purchase last year.
And for some of these guys, if they're lonely looking on this sex website or whatever it is, and they come across this and they think, okay, it's worth it. I'll go ahead and send some money. They get an address. They think, hey, why not?
What do you think they're charging as half up front? $60, $100?
Half?
What's the going rate?
I don't know what the going rate for sex is, though.
I don't either.
It's got to be a couple hundred.
Up front?
I was thinking...
I wouldn't know, but...
thinking like a scammer, I would make it $100 because I feel like...
You can get $100.
You can get $100. Yeah. I wouldn't make it a couple hundred because...
That's too high price.
It's too, but if I get, let's say, twice a day this works, that's $200 a day.
Yes.
And working volume.
For a year.
Yeah.
And this poor woman's got 2 schlubs on her house front porch every day looking for sex.
That's what I'd say. I'd say, oh, well, the sex is $250, but you got to give me $100 now, and then I send you the address.
Yes.
And then, of course, you block them. You never hear from them again.
Of course.
The dangerous part is that these guys might think that this
woman,
senior citizen, is the one taking him for a ride.
Elaine.
Yeah.
66.
Absolutely.
Here she is. She actually recorded one of these encounters when a man came up on her front porch on her doorbell.
Supposed to meet someone here or no? Is this the wrong place?
Which name?
Rhonda?
For drugs or sex?
Second one.
He can't even bring himself to say it.
I love his pause.
I do too.
Am I here for the drugs or the sex?
It's incriminating.
Oh, Rhonda was the sex.
And then they can't even say sex. The second one? And she was having none of it.
Well, you know what? This is a bait house, and you have about 10 seconds to get away from it, or the cops are going to get you.
Oh, okay.
Get the off my front porch.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. I heard it was a bait in the house. No, bait house.
Get off my property. Who can blame her? This poor woman. I do feel bad for her.
Sure.
I mean, all these.
Oh, because it's the middle of the night too.
Yeah.
1 a.m. Some dude's there.
And how do you stop it? I mean, who do you call?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
She can't do anything.
What can you? I mean, at this point, we had the conversation with my kid. This is about online and social media. My son's getting ready to go off to college. They have their social media accounts. So I don't even know how we got on the topic. But my wife was basically saying, if you put something out on social media, it's there forever. You can't get it back. So be very careful about what you post. And they were, kind of under their breath laughing like we didn't know what we were talking about. And my wife said, this is the line that got me, I wrote it down. She said, your father has a reputation to uphold. And they just bursted out laughing.
No one believes that.
You should have said, like, what?
You're sitting there gnawing on a piece of celery.
Your father is he's a local personality, has a reputation to uphold. And I thought my son was going to fall on the floor laughing. I thought that was so funny.
Remember last time he was on the news, it was because he got scammed.
Yeah.
He and his friends watch that all the time. And apparently, at one point, the reporter, after I got scammed and taken for all that money by the Pine Straw guys, Jock Wantavius, the reporter at some point says, how can even an intelligent man like... And they just, they love it. They laugh so hard when they call me intelligent. That woman that we just heard from, Elaine, has now put a sign up saying she is armed.
Yes, I have my Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum loaded 4-inch barrel next to me.
Okay, now.
And I answer the door with it.
That's right. So anybody coming to her house, you'll eat some lead if you try to force your way in. It's getting dangerous, and there is not much she can do. I mean, of course, she's called the cops and everything, but what are they going to do? What?
Well, I mean, if the cops want to some easy, call her some easy people, you can get some... Get these guys just set up down the street and try and get them for
I wonder
being Johns.
That's actually a good question. Could they? I don't know if they could be arrested for that because
they've given money in what they think is exchange for sex.
Yeah, but I mean it's not.
It's probable cause the fact that they're walking up there. They could go question them and say, "What are you doing at this lady's house?"
Yeah, I mean, is it still soliciting though? Is like, well, I thought I was meeting here for sex. I paid somebody, but I don't know if you can make that stick in court.
Well, I think you can because if a undercover cop is on the street and says, "Hey, baby, you looking to party?" and they say, "Here's $100. Let's go have," that's you're arrested for that. But
ask Lisa.
Well, we're going to talk to her today, as a matter of fact, in about 20 minutes on a different story. So that's a good question to ask her. The Texas Trucker has a comment on this. He knows. He's from Texas. Texas Trucker all over the country. Texas Trucker, talk to us about this poor woman. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Listen, celebrate my birthday all month long with the two guys named Chris.
All right, happy birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday.
So, and not in my personal experience, but you hear stuff all over the radios and stuff when you go to truck stops, folks looking for sex or whatever. And what I've come to find out is anything under $150 for a quick visit, which is 15 minutes of their time. Quick visit, they go quick visit, half hour, overnight, and then you go so on and so forth. Anything under $150 is a scam.
Okay, so you know that.
Yeah.
So the price then, if they want to do it right, is give me $100 up front and it's another $150 when you get here. That's probably what they're doing, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. They're probably doing something real cheap, something easy to get, and once they get it, they'll bail or whatever. You never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Thank you, Texas Trucker. Appreciate it.
Giving all those good, hard-working girls
a bad reputation because then you show up and there's nothing there except Elaine, the 66-year-old retired woman. I feel for her, I really do, because you don't want people coming by all day.
No.
Like that. It's awful. There is another story today of someone who has duped his friend. This is, again, a scam, but not really. He's not trying to take him for money or anything. Man in Brazil faked his own death so that he could see how many people would show up at his funeral. He literally did this. His name is Baltazar Limons, and he apparently has conducted funerals himself many years. He's a guy who works as a mortician, has conducted funerals, and he says, I've seen some as few as 2 people have attended, and so I wanted to see how many people would show up at my funeral. So he faked his own death, put an obituary in the paper and everything, and then got about 200 to show up and came out from behind the curtain and said,
"What?
Good news, I'm here." Yeah, he really did that.
I wouldn't go again.
Several people were crying, of course.
I went once.
Yeah.
I went
Bet y'all
once.
thought I was dead.
If he really died, I wouldn't go.
I'm not going.
And then he had a big reception with a party, but a lot of people left and said, how dare you do this?
How full of yourself are you?
He's 60 years old. He wanted to see how many people would show up at the funeral.
Well, Pete's in the next room.
I guess he felt like if he gave him a reception.
He thought that would become a party and a joke and for fun. And it turns out that, of course, everybody thought he was dead. And many of them were crying and everything. And when they saw him, I bet they about fainted, wouldn't you think?
Balthazar.
Come out from behind the curtain.
Yeah.
What are you, Jesus?
I mean,
You're back.
How awful is that? I mean, that's a really low down thing to do to somebody, and that's all your friends and family too.
Yeah.
that you're doing.
Yeah, how
that
do you
to.
do that to your family?
That's a good question. There's a good question here today for Lisa Lanier as well, I guess. Sheetz is reviewing something, the convenience store Sheetz. See if they can really do this legally. They have a controversial part of their website and employee handbook that people are just taking notice of. It's called the SMILE policy. And the policy at Sheetz is if you have discolored teeth, broken teeth, or missing teeth, they won't hire you. And they can fire you if you wind up with a bad grill. And a lot of people saying, that's not right. You can't do that.
We sure Sheetz follows that.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's that?
We sure Sheetz follows that rule.
Oh, have you
to someone
seen?
around here?
Have you seen some
I
Sheetz?
don't want to speak ill of anyone. I have no room to talk about anything.
Right. But you say.
But I've been to several Sheetz,
and people have missing.
and I wouldn't say they all scream perfect teeth.
applicants with missing, broken, or discolored teeth are not qualified for employment and are not even considered for employment.
But I need dental.
But I think they are allowed to do that. Don't you think? You want them to have a certain appearance?
No, yeah, you don't say it out
Yeah,
loud.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't put it in the handbook. Like that's the
issue.
thing. You wrote it out.
They did. It is in their handbook.
Yeah.
So you can't. Is that illegal to do something like that? To say I'm not hiring based on?
You could say it's a form of discrimination because you're flat out saying we're not hiring because you have bad teeth.
But I thought, and this goes back to our attorney Lisa Lanier, saying you can discriminate except for race, gender, sexual preference.
Maybe so.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
You can. You can say, look, I don't want a guy with a tattoo on his neck working here at a restaurant.
That's the same thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
same idea.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think you, as a company, you can have a policy of no facial tattoos working at Costco.
Well, and you know what? You're probably right because no one sued. It seems they're saying
They're taking a look at it.
they're looking and going, this is wrong, but it doesn't seem like there's anyone trying to sue or over.
No, they are coming under fire
Yeah.
online for this. But
Because there's nobody that can claim that they've done that they haven't given them a job because of that.
well, they probably just don't hire you. But they
Yeah, they don't hire you.
say why. But
Right.
it is in their handbook. You better not lose a tooth
Unless it's temporary.
while
Yeah.
you're working here, because then you're going to be in
Yeah.
trouble. Remember that guy from Canada who was just talking about the beer prices last week? He had a tooth that he could take in and out on command, and he said, "You can't handle the tooth." when he did it.
Well, that's just a parlor
When he
trick.
did it.
Or
That's
my
right.
two favorite Waffle House waitresses that videoed each other. I believe I told you about this.
Yeah.
And it says, I guess they have a little TikTok following. And in one of the videos, it says, it appears that you all think we have all our teeth. And at that time, one of them sucks them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, oh, you think because we work at the Waffle House we're missing teeth?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We are.
Not all of us.
But I think, if that's their policy, I don't mind that policy. If you want to have someone that's presentable working there without discolored teeth, that doesn't bother me at
Yeah,
all.
I wonder where that falls. I mean, because everywhere has most places. We're lucky we don't. Has like a uniform standard. So does that fall in the?
I think every place that has that standard. I think almost everywhere you go apply for a job has that standard. I don't care if you're applying for a TV anchor position or a lawyer at it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, if you don't look the part,
You're right.
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the way it is. They're not going to want you to work for them.
But like Hooters, for instance, wouldn't hire an extremely overweight person to be a waitress, but I
No.
bet it's not in their handbook.
No, and neither would Vogue
Right.
for a model.
But I bet they don't write it out. I bet they just look at you and say, oh, we're going to
Yeah.
go a different direction or something like that,
I don't know that it's illegal to write it out.
I think
I mean, you're right. It's
that's
not
okay.
race, creed,
No.
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
That's it, right. Anonymous, you're talking about Sheetz and their hiring policies. In their handbook, it says no discolored teeth, no missing teeth, no broken teeth. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was an assistant manager at Sheetz for about 3 years and did interviewings, and they really enforced that at the store I was located at. If we started an interview and the person smiled and did not meet that criteria, we would give them a 3-minute courtesy interview, but immediately knew we were not hiring them.
Wow. Isn't that something? And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Did you?
No, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I mean, it was part of the appearance and the brand that they're selling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought it was very fair. And they even offer really excellent dental insurance through Sheetz.
That's the irony.
You can't have it. You're not getting it.
Man, that is some irony, isn't it?
We have great dental insurance that you're not going to be a part of.
Wow, sorry. See, now the big thing for them to do is hire these people, get their teeth
Get 'em-
fixed,
get
and then
'em
let them
fixed.
work.
I just want you to know we could help you. We're actively choosing not to.
Why not? Thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate that.